Hello, my name is Nobside, and today we're gonna talk about the top 10 tips for the twins. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Join my Twitch channel. I wanted to make a top 10 tips for some killer for a long time, so why not start from a new killer with very interesting gameplay? Well, that's what I did. Obviously, remember that right now the twins are extremely bugged and some of their mechanics will change in the near future, but hopefully these 10 tips will help you get kick-started with this very fun killer. Let's start. Number 1. Victor has no aura reading, but blood is bright. One thing you'll notice immediately while playing Victor is that finding generators or hooked survivors is extremely difficult. Victor doesn't see any aura and won't receive any notification from Charlotte's perks. However, it does see a very bright red blood on the ground, which is one of the reasons you will usually want to use Victor to chase already injured survivors. Don't get lost with Victor. Number 2. Face the danger. Try to optimize your strategy. When you leave Charlotte or Victor unattended and you are not in a rush, make sure to position them facing the direction you think will be the most optimal when you'll come back. Facing a hallway, watching a hook or a generator, whatever it is, avoid leaving your twins in the middle of nowhere without any reference point, or even worse, facing a wall. Number 3. Body blocking at its finest. Since both Charlotte and Victor can body block, you can exploit their interaction with survivors both by blocking vaults and pallets and, but this is a little bit more tricky, to completely deny places with only 2 exits, like the Peyton Preschool building. Remember that Victor can be kicked while unattended, so you usually want to keep Charlotte idle and assess the situation with Victor. But don't be afraid to switch characters. Kicking Victor still takes a little time, letting you catch up quicker than you think. Number 4. Camp deliberately. You can't switch characters in the proximity of a hooked survivors, nor right at the exit gate lever. If you really want to be a camping mother carrot, you have 2 options. The first is to leave Victor near the hook before hooking the survivor, while the second one is to put Victor in between the survivor's current position and the hook. The most important thing will be to face the right way, while the decision between leaving Victor in the open or behind something is entirely up to you. Either way, survivors will be able to sneakily go for the rescue if they urban evade, but either you'll be notified that they are coming due to Victor's demise, or you'll be able to switch back to him and go for another hit while they try to get away. Number 5. Victor is undetectable. Undetectable means a lot of nice things. No red stain, no terror radius, no borrowed time. While the lack of terror radius is still not enough to sneak on survivors, Victor is still screaming all the time after all. The fact that you don't have a red stain means that you don't need to hide it. Don't worry too much about mind gaming by turning the opposite direction while turning a corner, who cares? Just focus on anticipating what a survivor will actually do. Number 6. Stairs are your enemy. Unluckily, the verticality of your lunge is very limited, and most importantly, you cannot aim down. Don't even bother charging while survivors are below you or when they are on stairs and you are near them. You just won't get them. Instead, just exploit your incredibly fast speed and reposition yourself to strike at the right moment. Number 7. And so is urban evasion. Victor, while unattended or attached to a survivor, will ping the position of nearby survivors to you, but only if they are moving and if they are not crouching. In other words, while using Victor as a baby monitor is extremely strong, it's also a bit unreliable, especially when survivors are not in a rush. If you ever played as Hag, you know what I mean. Yes, traps everywhere will trigger in the early and mid-match, but as the game slows down, they become less and less reliable. Survivors will become urban invaders, blend acting and whatnot, so be careful about survivors crouching. Number 8. Nobody kicks your brother. Victor can be kicked in 2 situations. If they are unattended and for a couple of seconds after a bounce attack. While it's difficult but not impossible to use your bounce tactically so the survivors will have a hard time kicking you after the jump, you can usually avoid your poor brother getting kicked while he is unattended. Assuming survivors are not crouching, you have a fairly lenient window to jump back to Victor, and even if the survivor is already kicking him, their animation will be cancelled and they'll be left at your disposal. Number 9. Don't negotiate with kidnappers. When Victor is attached to a survivor, for 45 seconds there's nothing you can do about it. They are the only ones that can detach Victor. A survivor that doesn't detach Victor from themselves is called a kidnapper, and while it means that you won't be able to use Victor during this time, it's also true that the kidnapper will be oblivious to you and, most importantly, can't work on generators or heal other survivors. Basically, you can consider them as if they were a hook survivor but able to loop you. But wait, there's more. You'll get a heartbeat of the survivors near the kidnapper if they move, and this can really be massive. Basically, if you hear one heartbeat, you know the position of at least 2 survivors. My suggestion is to not recall Victor if you don't really need him to down another survivors, and I repeat, down a survivor. You don't want to recall him just to have him kidnapped again 1 second later. Some people will say that this makes you just a most one killer, like when survivors don't glance with the plague. But this is not true. Let me reiterate. The kidnapper can't repair generators, and they will notify you of the position of the other survivors. The worst mistake that you can do is to try and chase them though. Now that will be a waste of time. Number 10. Pick your battles! Yes, as Victor, you usually want to down survivors instead of simply injure them. We already said why. However, we're gonna live forever as being reworked and becoming somehow meta. There is an awful scenario that you need to get used to. 2 survivors, 1 injured, 1 healthy. Charlotte is around 10 seconds away from the 2. You down the injured survivor with Victor, while the teammate kicks you after the attack. By the time you reach the down survivor with Charlotte, they'll be already revived thanks to We're Gonna Live Forever, and you will have gained nothing from this interaction. Now, what if you attach yourself to the healthy survivor instead? They will need a couple of seconds to remove Victor from them, if they even want to. They can choose We're Gonna Live Forever to restore a full health state to their teammate, and if they instead decide to run away, they can ping the position of whoever is nearby. Cool, right? Of course, Swift will always be a pain in the arse, but at least we can try and mitigate their nonsense. So these were my 10 tips that everybody should know before even starting playing the Twins. Let me know in the comments if you found them useful or completely bull carrot, and see ya in the next video. And with this, I thank you again for watching the video. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a like, and of course come and join my Twitch channel. You will find a link down below.